after I finished class, I see my little note at the bottom that says, get to part 2 faster. So I'll follow that rule today of get to part 2 faster. I should have been walking around warming up while we were talking, but what I was going to say is that I'm teaching part 2 in person right now, and we have gotten to leisurely tie the coat. Not leisurely tie the coat. We've gotten to repulse the monkey. And it is so difficult to teach in person. And so I can't figure out how we're going to do it virtually, but we're going to give it our best shot. And I just warn you ahead of time that it's a move that goes to the back and then all the way back to the front and then to the side. So you're basically going in a circle. And in the
I've got to confess, I actually know from previous experience, repulse the monkey. So,
oh, hallelujah.
I mean, I still have some issues with weight transfer, but you know,
well,
this and then, yeah,
I do teach a step. I teach a step back so that your feet don't get tangled. I started that years ago. I don't even teach it the way Dr. Lamb teaches it. I just go ahead and teach a step back when you're going from the back to the front, just because it's easier. So, oh, good deal. I'm glad, because that move is so difficult to teach. But it's so simple because it's basically 3 brush knees. But it's something we're familiar with, but because we're going in a circle, it's just hard. And then I've got to thinking about my mirror image and right and left. And I thought, oh, dear Lord, I don't think I've been this challenged in a long time. All right. I'm not afraid of a challenge though. That, I'm not intimidated. I usually know my limitations, but they don't stop me. All right, here we go. So let's do our warm up, starting with our neck. I didn't mention our stable stance with our feet about hip width, shoulder width apart. Good posture, relaxed, not holding tension, especially in our shoulders, which tends to be the place I hold tension. You to breathe at whatever rate feels comfortable for you. Our goal being deep breathing. But I'm good if I just don't hold my breath. Certain moves lend themselves to diaphragmatic breathing. And I tend to get stuck on this one because I love the way it feels in my neck. Rolling our shoulders. And you know how many times I've talked about driving and how looking over your shoulder helps you be a safe driver. And that move right there replicates that motion. Well, my daughter took her driver's test this past Tuesday to get her driver's license, and she passed. It's probably the lowest grade she's ever made. She made an 81, and I think 75 is the lowest you can make to pass. Do you know we forgot to teach her to look over her shoulder when she was backing up? So she was paying, we were trying to tell her to rely on her mirrors, to use her mirrors and not rely solely on her cameras of her car. And she didn't look over her shoulder as she backed up, and she got points taken off. And I said, do you know, every single week I talk about that and never occurred to me to teach you to do that when you were backing up in that straight line. But most importantly, she passed. Spine. Another one I get stuck on because it feels so good to stretch that spine. Side to side, staying within our frame. Guide this movement with our core. This movement that gets us ready for waving hands and clouds. Lower body for our hips, shifting weight, heel forward, hands back, pause, and toe back, hands forward. Checking our posture, making sure we're not holding tension in those shoulders and not leaning with these movements. Back to center and shift weight in the other side. Shifting side to side. Our hands go with the weight shifts and still stay in our frame. Don't forget to breathe. Our knees, loose fist, shift, lift, tap and punch. Take your time with that movement. Really challenge that leg to hold your body. Challenge to really slow down this movement. And now we're going to step forward, back up a little bit. Shift, step, shift and punch, keeping both feet flat on the floor. Again, not leaning into the weight shift. My upper body wants to go forward with the weight shift, but reminding myself to keep the upright posture. See, Sharita is here. Let me finish this movement and I'll let her in. Check while you're doing this movement to make sure that you haven't clenched your fist tight. Make sure you keep them loose. I don't know why, but I'll catch myself just really clenching my fists. And we want to go for no tension in all our joints. Okay, now I got to spotlight myself. Remove pin. How about my memory spotlight for everyone? There we go. Okay. Ankles. Getting back into my stable stance, shift and rock my foot heel toe. Yeah. Good morning, Miss Sharita.
Good morning.
I missed you this past Tuesday.
I missed you the most.
It was weird to be off in the middle of the week, but I tell you what, it was a beautiful day. We got to sunscreen our skin. That's how pretty it was. The sun was out. And then big toe, little toe. We went to Swainsboro and watched Patrick, well, not just Patrick, but Andrew College play East Georgia, and Andrew won, and that was good. That was nice to have a win. Their team was really trashy. Their coach cussed at the umpire. Like, he said the same cuss word sentence about 5 times in a row, and I'm like, why is that umpire not throwing him out? But he didn't. So it's always feels good to beat the trashy team. We play them today, and then again tomorrow is a doubleheader because they're in conference play. So their game series are 5 games. Lance, in high school soccer, do they play a series?
No, it's
Okay,
just one game.
gotcha.
Some regions may choose to do a home and home, you know, depending on how many teams are in the region, but no, they don't do series.
I gotcha. You know, I'm new to sports. I say new because I didn't intend on having a kid that played sports. Like, I'm not that parent. So I'm kind of like late to learning all the sports. All right. So one thing I want to share with y'all is this. Did I tell y'all about my Tai Chi lady? Oh gosh, I know she's in her 80s. She has been taking Tai Chi for in-person Tai Chi for a couple of years. And she's taken my bingo size class, and we do functional fitness test and bingo size, which is chair stands. So for 30 seconds, just pretend there's a chair back here. For 30 seconds, we get up and down, up and down. They're allowed to use their hands if they need to, you know, whatever they need to get up for 30 seconds, with their goal being to not use their hands. This lady has been so dedicated to Tai Chi. She stood up in her functional fitness test 2 times by herself. And she was so excited. And so I just want to tell that story to encourage others of just how Tai Chi really can help you if you will stay committed to it and take it seriously like she has. She walks with a cane, and she brings her cane to class, but she just has it right beside her. And when she needs it, she'll touch it, but she challenges herself to not touch it. She has a brace on her ankle. She used to wear a back brace. So, I mean, you know, she has so many reasons to make an excuse, and she hasn't. She refuses a chair when I offer her a chair. She says, no, I'll get one if I need it. But she just has that cane right beside her. So I like those encouraging stories, and I wanted to share that. All right, so we're going to go through our part 1. We'll just do it one time, and then we're going to get to part 2. All right, so I'm going to turn around, and this chair is just in my way, on my nerves. Okay. From the top. Part 1, basic 6, advanced 6, and commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Advance 6. Brush knee. Play the loop. Carry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Carry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Close it out. Yay! Part 1. All right, now we're getting to part 2. And we know that we start with brush knee to the right. Very familiar with this move, brush knee. And what we want to really be familiar with is step, shift, follow, step, because that is the name of the game, isn't it? So brush knee to the right. All right, leisurely tie the coat. So let's talk through it. Step back left, and our left hand comes down to our hip. At that same time, our right hand karate chops. We shift left and bring that right hand to our stomach, to our belt buckle, and 3 fingers when we follow step right. Zip it up. Step right, shift and offer our pie, follow step left. And there is a challenge there to stay upright, not lean with that movement. They don't want our pie. Step back left, shift, that right foot comes up. The right foot follows our hand as we bring that pie around and beside our head. We turn our hand, our 3 fingers go to the back of our wrist, and we shift as we deliver that pie. Shift right, follow step left, and we come to the front. Step, shift, follow step, hands face, open and close. All right, let's do that again. So we ended with brush knee with our weight on our right foot. Our left foot was the follow step foot, and we know that our follow step foot is our next step. So step back left, karate chop right, shift, follow step, 3 fingers. Zip it up, step right, shift and offer, follow step left, step back left, shift, the right foot comes up and follows that right hand around. Left fingers go to the back of our hand, shift as we deliver that pie, follow step left to the front, step left, shift and right, hands face, open and close. We do leisurely tie the coat 4 times in this move, 2 times this way, 2 times that way. So we want to make sure we're very familiar with this movement. All right, end of brush knee. We're here, weights on our right leg. Our left foot just follow stepped. Our right hand's by our hip. Our left hand is pushed out. Leisurely tie the coat. open, close. All right, so I'm demonstrating it in a very choppy fashion, just to let you get to each step. We're ended our brush knee. Here, leisurely tie the coat. And close. Let's try to make it a little more smooth. Here's the end of brush knee. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. I want to remind you that this move right here, if you don't have, if you have stiffness in your back, even maybe stiffness in your shoulder, it may limit the amount of space that you take up to bring that around. And you do what's comfortable for you. If you need to stay a little bit closer, you do want to make sure you stay upright. You don't want to lean into the movement. Anytime we're lean, we're going towards falling. And so that goes against what we wanting to do. But it takes some back flexibility, especially, but shoulder flexibility too. Especially, a lot of people have problems with the rotator cuff. And so bringing that arm around like that, you may feel pain there. So you can always visualize the full movement and do what you can, even if you bring it in and turn it all real close to your body. So that's just a reminder of always listen to your body and what you need, and work towards that full movement. So making leisurely tie the coat more smooth. We are at the end of brush knee, leisurely tie the coat. And close. All right, one more time, because I haven't mentioned respect for the empty step. So in these movements, as well as our advanced 6, when we step, it's an empty step, then we shift the weight. So give respect to that empty step. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. Any questions about leisurely tie the coat? It doesn't mean that you have perfection of that movement, but do I need to clarify anything? Okay. So let's move to our step back single whip. So we just finished open and close. So our hands are facing. Step back single whip is similar to our single whip that we do in a basic 6, where we shift, step, adjust weight, push out, turn our hands and separate. And the rule is our eyes follow the hand opposite of the foot that stepped. So same rules apply here, except we're stepping back. So we shift right, we step back left, adjust the weight, push, turn, separate, eyes follow our right hand, which is opposite of the foot that stepped. Step back single whip. So one key thing is in order to set us up for fist under elbow, we want to work with the space that we step, and it'll be different for everybody. But even though it's called step back, we're not stepping back. We're stepping back, but it's step wide and back. Because then that sets us up for when we do fist under elbow and we're turning to the left, we're not stepping over our feet whenever we do that. So it's for step back, single whip, shift right, step back, left, adjust weight, push our hands out, turn and follow that right hand. Both hands separate. Another thing to remind you of, and we do it through Tai Chi, because we keep the song joints, the soft bend in our elbow. When we push our hands out, we don't go out. We don't lock our joints. We push out, turn, and separate. Eyes follow opposite hand of the foot that steps back. So open and close. Step back, single whip. Shift right, step back left, adjust weight. Push, turn, separate, eyes follow our right hand. That's a pretty easy movement. I think the hardest part is finding that happy place for you to step back and out, widen your stance to prepare for fist under elbow. And you might not know that your step back is the right amount of space until we add fist under elbow. So that's what we want to do next. Fist under elbow. So we step back here, fist under elbow. All right. So we have weight on both legs right now. Our eyes are facing that right hand. We're going to shift left and we're going to turn that right foot. And when we turn that right foot to face the left wall, our right hand comes down to our hip. And whenever I turned the right foot, I pivoted it on its heel. So there's a tiny bit of weight still there. Hold on. Shift, turn that right foot, right hand comes down. Now I'm going to shift right, and then my left foot pivots on the ball of its foot. So now my feet are both facing the left wall. So we're here at step back, single whip. I shift left, right hand comes down, right hand turn. I shift right, and my left foot pivots. So now we're facing that way. This left hand just went along for the ride. It went from being here. So now it's facing out. So when we turn both of our feet to the left wall, we're in this kind of stance. And where's our weight? I had weight on both feet. Our weight is on our right leg. We're going to step left and shift left. And when we shift left, our left hand goes from facing the left wall to facing the front. So shift. Now we're going to follow step right. And when we follow step right, our right hand makes a loose fist and ends here. So it's fist under elbow, but not under, just in the plane. Because once you go here, you're creating tension here. So like that. Let me come towards you with this movement. So I have step back, single whip. Shift left, right foot turns, right hand comes down. Shift right, left foot turns. Step left, shift. You see my left hand turned as I shift, follow step right, the right hand finishes here. So that's what it looks like coming at you. I know sometimes these movements are tricky because you want to see what they look like in front, but I have step back, single whip, shift left, turn that right hand comes down with it. Shift right, the left foot turns. Step left, shift, and follow step, fist under elbow. Okay. Coming from open and close, through fist under elbow. Do a time check. Okay. Open, close. Step back, single whip. Shift, step, adjust weight, push, turn, separate. Shift left, right hand, right toe, or right foot. Shift right, left foot. Step left, shift, follow step right, fist under elbow. How's that move?
Good.
I love fist under elbow. Step back, shift. I love part 2. But the comfort in pivoting your feet has that tiny little bit of weight as you pivot, shift, pivot. You know, there's some comfort to gain there in turning your feet while your heel's still on the ground and then the ball of your foot. I think I said that right. So just shift, yeah, heel, shift, ball, step, shift, follow step. The step, shift, follow step. That's our jam. We know that. We're good with that. So let's go from the top through a step back, single whip. Then we're going to tackle the move I'm avoiding, repulse the monkey. Okay. Open, close. Brush knee. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. Step back, single whip. I mean, fist under elbow. All right, again, brush knee. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. Step back, single whip. Fist under elbow. Are you making yourself proud?
I am.
This is a lot. I know this is so much. All right, so you noticed how I had to do that one more time before I got to our leisurely tie the coat. Let me show you what it looks like. All right, so we just did fist under elbow. Here's what leisurely tie the coat looks like.
Repulse the monkey, you mean?
Yes, repulse the monkey. I'm even avoiding saying the word. It is so ingrained in my psyche, like, I'm scared. All right, fist under elbow 2. Repulse the monkey. see the step back, Lance, on the, that when we're going from the back to the front. So I'm gonna do my best to describe what I'm doing. So I just finished fist under elbow. I follow stepped with my right foot. So my right foot is the next one to step. I step out with my right and I lay my hands out. I shift right. I prepare to step just like whenever I do brush knee. I step to the back, shift. You see that brush knee movement? Follow step. Now here's the step back. Step back, and again, I prepare to come around. My left foot pivots on the heel, shift. My right hand comes to my hip, right foot steps to the front, shift as I see that brush knee movement, and follow step left. Now I'm basically brushing knee to the left. I step left, left hand comes to my hip, shift as I brush right, and follow step right. Easy peasy, right? It's like doing brush knees, like 3 brush knees in a row is it, that's what it's like. It's what it feels like. It just feels crazy because we're going in a circle. We're going back to the front and then to the side. All right, so we're almost to the part where we repeat. Whenever we finish that movement, we leisurely tie the coat, but this time it's to the other way. So it's all the opposite hands than what we did going that way. And once we finish that leisurely tie the coat, come to the front, open and close, then it's time to repeat itself. So we're almost to the repeat itself part, if that gives you any kind of comfort. So we're fist under elbow. So we step out to the side, right? So let me show you on the front. So I'm here at the end of fist under elbow. My weight is on my left foot because I just follow stepped right. And I'm not in mirror image, y'all. I step out and lay my hands. So that's a different move than we've done before. We step out. So we widen our stance. Our left hand protects that elbow. So that's what that looks like from the front. We step out. We lay that right hand out to the side like this, and our left hand protects our elbow. Here, step out, lay hands. Because, you know, we're used to our brush knee being lay out front or reach out front. You know, we're used to that movement. So it's very similar to that movement of the beginning of our brush knee, but it's out. And then we're gonna brush by our head as we step to the back. So movements that we're so familiar with, but just enough different to make us crazy. Here, step out, protect that elbow. So now, right now, weight is on both of our feet. Now we shift right. Just like in brush knee, I bring my left hand back to my hip and my left foot comes back to prepare. What am I preparing to do? Same thing as in brush knee. I step, but I'm stepping to the back. Shift as I brush and follow step right. All right, so back to the beginning. We're finished fist under elbow. Repulse the monkey. Step out right. Right hand lays out and our left hand protects that elbow. Again, this is a comfort thing with where your arm will allow you to lay. When I say lay it here. So more than it being to the side, I see it like a 45-degree angle. So it's here, here. So when we regular do brush knee, it's out front. And this one, it's more of a 45-degree angle. You may feel comfortable laying it more out to the side. It'll depend on range of motion of your shoulder. Sometimes choices are good and sometimes choices are confusing. So I just want you first and foremost to always listen to your body. So if you were laying, and I have good flexibility in my joints, and so if you were trying to lay out to the side more and you felt pain in your shoulder or you felt tension in your shoulder, then come more to that angle and see how that feels. From fist under elbow to step out, lay out that right hand, left hand protects the elbow. Shift right, left hand comes to our hip, our left foot steps back to prepare to step back. So that's our left foot going back. Shift as the right hand comes by your ear, and then follow step right. Again, fist under elbow. Step out, protect. Shift, prepare, step, shift, follow step. All right, so that's the first part of Repulse the Monkey. We're going to the back. I know it looks like I'm going to the front because I'm facing y'all. Fist under elbow. Step out, protect elbow, shift, separate, prepare, step, shift as I push, and follow step. So that felt very brush knee-ish, didn't it? So now we're facing the back. Now our goal is to do that same move, but just to the front. So we step back right, that right hand comes down to the hip with it, step back. Hold on, let me speed this up. Shh. No, it doesn't go to the hip. I knew I was blind. Step back here. It ends up at the hip, but first it has to protect our elbow, just like in brush knee, just like we do on brush knee. So we just finished that brush and follow step. We step back. See that? Does that look familiar? The hand comes out. The right hand protects the left elbow. Shift. Good God, this is hard to do slow. Stop, turn, step back. All right, that's what it looks like. So when I am going towards the front, my left foot is pivoting on its heel until it gets basically pointing towards the left. Then I shift it to the left. My right foot steps to the front, shift, and follow step left. I just took out my hands altogether to work on those feet. So when I step to the back, step, shift, follow step. I'm just taking out my hands for right now because I'm trying to go to from the back to the front. And this is difficult because you're going to move away from seeing me. Probably are right now, but I step back to give myself some room. Now in Dr. Lamb's video, he doesn't call for you to step back. He calls for you to shift to that right foot, turn your left, shift left, and then step right. But that's hard for a lot of people to have their feet that close. So I started that step back, where I step back right, shift, bring that left toe around. I pivoted on my heel, shift left, and then I step to the right, shift, follow step left. So there's that weird funky movement that's happening with your feet when you're going from the back to the front. So I step, shift, follow step right, step back right, I pivot that left till it faces the left wall, shift left, and right now I'm taking my right foot, pivoting it as I turn my body. Then I take my right foot and step it towards the front, shift, follow step left. You see why I was avoiding this? That's a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it hard?
Yes, very good.
Yes.
Is it hard to follow?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna work on how to try to make it less hard to follow. I don't think these set of moves were ever intended to be taught virtually. And I know that they're not in the world of falls prevention.
I think even in person, this would be difficult.
It is, I mean, I'm teaching it right now in person, and I have avoided teaching it in person, and much more virtually. But I'm doing my best to describe and break it down. And because I don't teach this very often, and I haven't taught it in years, so I'm going back to movements that I haven't even talked about in a long time. So just bear with me, as I'm happy to share it. And I'm just trying my best not to confuse you. But this is what the movement looks like. Sped up, because I know it's 10 o'clock. Fist under elbow. I step out, shift, prepare, step to the back, shift, follow step. Now my job is to go to the front, step back, shift, bring that left around, shift left, my right pivots on the ball, then steps to the front, shift, follow step, and now I'm going to the left. Step, shift, follow step. It really is basically 3 brush knees. We're just going all over the place here. So you see movements that you're very familiar with, but you feel like your feet are in a tangled mess, don't you?
Yeah.
You
That,
know,
that step back is, good.
but that I like the step back because it gives us more room to move here. And when you slow down those pivots, I think it makes the movement harder because you're in an awkward position longer than you're ever going to be when you really do the movement. But in order to learn, we have to talk about, pivoting, shift, pivot, now step, shift, follow step. Part 2 has never gone through the study for falls prevention. I would venture to guess that you have to have pretty good balance in order to do this particular movement for what your feet are doing. So, but this is why we have advanced class, because we can learn advanced things. And the beauty, I'm going to give myself fist massage. The beauty of it is we don't have a due date. We don't have to learn this by next Friday. We learn it in like a way where we're like, oh, I don't think I look so good doing that. And then we keep practicing, and then we get better and better. Just like the first time that we did our basic 6 movements that we can do in our sleep now. Will we get there with part 2? We could if we if we committed to it, but they are much more complicated moves. So don't beat yourself up and get down because it's hard. It's meant to be hard. It's meant to be a challenge. And to me, that's what I like about it. Challenge me. All right, tense and relax. We don't want to carry around tension. We want to let it go. Tense and relax. Not very many people do part 2 that I know of. I know within our aging network for sure. Not many of us are even trained or certified in part 2. I know when I go to certification, I don't remember anybody else but me. But I'd do part 3 if Dr. Lamb had it. We have our strength. Oops, mirror image. Strength with our right fist, our left fingers together, our friendship, our left thumb in, humility. And we put those together in mutual respect. Namaste. And do y'all want to go through, do y'all want to do part 1 and what we know of part 2? I know it's 10:04, but I
That's fine with me.
meant to get back to it. And then as I was cooling down, that's why I couldn't remember what the thumb was, because my brain was like, oh, but you were gonna. All right, well, let's just do it. Let's do our part 1, basic 6, advanced 6, and then go through what we know of part 2. If you stop and just watch, then you just stop and watch. But we're gonna go through even all the way through Repulse the Monkey. Matter of fact, I might do after Repulse the Monkey, I'll do the leisurely tie the coat to the other side, not the wrong side, to the left, even though we haven't technically learned it yet, because that will finish off the first part of part 2 where it goes to repeat. So like I said, stop and just watch if you don't feel comfortable going through the movement. But from the top, part 1, part 2. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Advanced 6, starting with brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Block and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Front. Open, close. Part 2. Brush knee. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. Step back, single whip. Fist under elbow. Repulse the monkey. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. That's where we begin all over again with brush knee to the right. So that's the first, that's all of the first part of part 2 before it repeats. We got this, right?
Yep.
All right. I believe in you. I just also believe in having patience for ourselves. I know learning something takes time, and so just be patient. And sometimes we get it all wrong and mess it all up on the way to getting it right. That's true with most things in life, isn't it? All right.
Jennifer, did you mail my shirt? I know the mail has been crazy, but I haven't gotten it yet.
I did.
Did you mail?
Okay. Well, it's a P.O. box, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll
I
check
remember.
with them.
Okay. Well, let me
It's-
know if it doesn't come, and then I'll send another one. Then you can have 2.
It's not the only thing I haven't received, so.
Okay.
Okay.
But
All right.
yes, I did send it. Well,
Okay.
I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you I'll see you either on Tuesday or next Friday. This is week 12, so we have four classes left, just to give you an idea.
Okay.
All right. All right. Love y'all.
Love you too.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.